What is the largest button on an alien's keyboard? The outer space bar. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to Super C practice. And maybe some other stuff going on tonight. We'll see. But this is, well, Super C. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do first. I'm practicing this game up. I'd like to get really good at it. Hopefully, eventually do a deathless run. That's a long ways off. That's a long ways off. I can do the one credit clear fairly regularly. It doesn't happen every time, but it happens pretty often. And I can make it to, on a really good run, I've made it to level 5 a couple times. So that's about as far as we've gotten. And we're going to see, we're going to give it our best shot tonight, and we're going to see if we come anywhere near that. So I'm going to run my timer while I'm playing, at least until I come up against my first loss of life. At which point we'll probably just stop the timer, because I'm really only concerned. I'm really only interested in seeing how much time a deathless run takes. And reset rule: if I die in the first stage, then I give myself a reset. Because we really, I don't know, I don't want to waste a lot of time working on a run that ends immediately. But if we die anywhere after stage 1, well, we just live with what happens to us, and we practice up the whole game. Lucid Jelly, good to have you. Love me some aliens. Right on. The aliens aren't anything to celebrate in this game, though. The aliens are, unfortunately, rather hostile. Alright, so here we go. And my apologies, my friends, for last night, but the stream was so terribly short. I just don't know what happened. My internet went out, and it wasn't on my end. And unfortunately, that's one of those things that happens sometimes. So we're gonna hope for the best tonight. We're gonna hope that it works out for us, and we get to do a whole stream. The bombs are kind of a major obstacle for me. I lose a lot of lives to the bombs. Their timing is just a little bit tricky. I'm usually trying to run past them too early and running into the blast and losing a life. Wow, going really slow with the helicopter. Tunberry, welcome in. Glad to have you here. The whole internet was AIM fever. It certainly was last night, Jelly. We can love the aliens even if they don't return the favor. That's a very gracious position. That boss tends to give me a lot of trouble. That's a spot where a lot of my first deaths have occurred. Sorry, as usual when the timer is running, I'm gonna be kind of non-responsive to the chat. So please don't take it personally if it seems like I'm ignoring you. That's not my intent. Super C demands a lot of focus. Where's the boss? Oh, he sure took his time coming out. Look how easy peasy I did at that time. You know, sometimes things are really easy and sometimes they're really not. This part here, I still have a tremendous amount of difficulty with. I don't know when I'm ever going to get comfortable with this part. It makes me feel all the nervousness. I wonder if I get more points, and thus a quicker extra life if I take out the little shooting discs. Because those, I think those shooting discs are optional, and really you only have to attack the middle spot, which is the boss's like true weak point. But I suspect you still get points for taking out the discs, which might mean that your extra life comes a little quicker if you take them out. Not really quicker in a... Not really quicker in a, like, clock sense, but quicker in terms of, like, progression through the game. Level 4 is the level I have the most trouble with in the game. I've been getting better at it / luckier on level 4. A little bit. But it's still a lot harder than a lot of other parts of the game. No. Oh, I went right between those bullets. Really lucky there. Really lucky. These turrets. These turrets are some of the... I don't even know how it's firing sideways like that. No, I landed on a bubble. Oh, rip the run. Well, there goes our deathless attempt there. Stop the timer. Shed a tear. That was a pretty disgusting way for things to end. Okay, this boss is kind of tricky. This boss is tricky with the spread gun. It can be really tricky without. Actually, now that I know how this boss operates, I think I like this boss. It's got a reliable strategy for taking it out that's learnable, but I feel not terribly obvious. I don't know. We could maybe quibble over that. The strategy may be very obvious to some people, but it certainly took me a little while to figure it out. When I don't have the spread gun, my strategy here is to kind of run past a lot of the obstacles. Maybe it doesn't necessarily work out the greatest for me. You can be the judge. Where did the bomb go? It should have been on the platform above me. First part of this stage, part we just left, is the part of the game I find the most aesthetically pleasing. I like this boss a lot. This boss is very spooky, scary. Multiverse Explorer. Welcome to the stream, Explorer. Great to have you here. I'll catch up with you. I'll catch up with your message in just a moment. Please don't make me lose the spread gun. Yeah, I like the spooky boss. The sleeper has awakened. I was taking a nap before the stream. I gotta tell you, I'm pretty tired tonight. And I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, maybe I should just cancel the stream. But I couldn't do that after last night's stream crashed so short into the stream. Ah. And also, I just like being here, tired or not. You know, Super C's not going to practice itself. No. I've got to come up with a plan for getting through that section. That might be the trickiest part of the game to get through without losing a life. Is that area right there. There's just so much going on. I know that there's got to be a strategy for getting through there pretty easily. I just haven't figured it out yet. I'm going to be happy when I do. But like I was saying the other night, that part is too hard for there to not be a way to do it easily. I held on for you way past my intended time last night, and then that my 15 hours and wanted to sleep a bit before you went live. Last thing the VOD had you talking about was your desktop not outputting video. Oh, yeah. So yeah, I noticed it shortly after that. I did go ahead. So when, you know, because I record the streams locally onto my laptop as I'm broadcasting, like I still have still should have an uninterrupted recording of the stream. I talked for a little while before I noticed we weren't live anymore. But it was very shortly after that. And because I was still being recorded, I went ahead and finished out that level that I was doing so that I wouldn't have to repeat that and make everyone sit through it again. And then I just wrapped, and I just waited for the internet to come back. And if it had come back in, like, you know, 15 or 20 minutes, I would have just gone live again. But, you know, after that time, I was like, well, I'm just going to wrap it up for the night. And I waited and kept an eye on it and tried to send a message out on Discord as soon as I could, just to let you guys know I wasn't going to be back. But sometimes that happens. My service provider, I guess, they just decide I'm using up too much internet. They're like, well, that's enough for you for today, and they switch it off. Fortunately, I think that is the first time that has happened during one of my streams. It usually happens after a stream, or sometime in the afternoon, or evening. It usually doesn't happen late at night, so. I don't know. And who knows, there's probably no nefarious scheme or malicious intent behind it. There's probably no evil mastermind flipping the switch on my internet, but it feels like there is. But yeah, my desktop, I don't know what to do about. My desktop computer won't output video at all anymore. None of the outputs on the video card work, and the VGA output built into the motherboard doesn't work either, so I'm really at a loss for what to do to, it kind of just feels like my desktop is ruined. I'm really at a loss for how to fix it. I mean, the problem must be something else. I cannot believe that all of the video outputs just simultaneously went bad. Like, I could believe all the outputs on the card went bad at the same time. I cannot believe that the card and the onboard video out both went bad. VGA won't work if the add-in video card is installed. Well, I took the video card out. I tried it without it. I mean, I know that it still is probably looking for, it still could be looking for it for software reasons, but I mean, if it looks for the video card, it's going to see that it's not there. You would think the computer would be smart enough to attempt to send the video through the video card, and then when it's not there, to automatically switch over to the VGA port, but I don't know, it doesn't. A part that I just passed is another part that's really tricky. Because there's those, like, tower guys, like, that shoot at you. And then also the green kind of mantis guys running in from both directions in those areas. And it can be really hard to duck under the bullets and change your direction with the proper timing to not get hit. Part's pretty tough. Pretty tough. Alright, here we are at the end, so one practice run has now been accomplished. Whoop. That begs the question of if your CPU can output video. Some pre-built PCs have the option on board, but the CPU does not support it. That might be the case. I'm not really sure, because my my computer is a pre-built computer. It's also got like power issues. The computer for a long time. If I run something that's like too, I don't know, too intense, then the power will go out in the computer sometimes. I feel like it's an overheating issue, but I don't know. Alright, so that was, another... Like I said, the one credit clear, I can pull that off fairly reliably, and it's just the one life clear that we need to accomplish. That's what we're practicing for. When will it happen? It's anybody's guess. Very good guess. Yeah, so like my desktop, one of the things, like if I open up a game on Steam on my desktop, and basically any game, it will run the game for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then it'll just shut off, just like the power went off. And then I can turn it back on and reopen Steam and open the game I was playing, and it'll run just fine. It's only the first time I open it that it crashes, but it's such an inconvenience that I never use Steam. And then, but it's had that problem for a couple years, to where that would happen. And then the no video output problem just started up a few months ago, and then now it's just no video at all. Because it would do where like I'd turn it on and it would seem to be running normally, but just no video signal would never come out. And if I held down the power button and restarted it somewhere between 3 and 12 times, it would eventually work normally and the video would come on. But now, like, I sat there forever turning it off and on, and no video. So I don't know. I probably just need to get a new desktop. I can take my old hard drive, install it as a secondary in a new computer, and well, it'll hopefully be okay. But I'm not in a hurry to do that. It's not a priority to me. My desktop PC was just largely a glorified YouTube box anyway, so that's really the only thing I've used it for the longest time is just to watch YouTube. Alright, so we're going to do another run. We're going to have the timer on until the first death happens. And we're going to see how it goes. I'm going to have sort of game, like, you know, again, like game tunnel vision until we get that first death. Reset rule, if I die on the first stage, we get a reset. If I die after that, we just keep going and just live with whatever is dealt to us. Here we go. Oh no, I missed out on the rapid fire, I think that was. No big deal. I mean, I have the machine gun. Do I really need rapid fire? We almost got that death. We almost got a death. Right there. I could feel the reset button was looking at me like, oh, here it comes. Terrible at getting that weak spot. I did basically no damage to it before it got off screen. Another really, really long battle with the helicopter. Chat silent mode enabled. I mean, you can chat at me all you want. It's just I'm not gonna be able to read it. My opportunities to read it are only the short spaces in between levels. Okay, pretty good fight against that guy. Feel like I'm getting better. I feel like I'm getting better at boss number 2. Boss number 2 giving me a lot of trouble before when I was trying like to run around a lot more, but now that I'm sort of comfortable fighting the boss entirely from the front like that, it's it feels like I'm getting through there fairly reliably. The hardest part of this stage is these guys who pop out from behind the trees, because they always fire a bullet. You're not able to take them out. I mean, you might be able to, but the window is so narrow that it's practically non-existent. Like, they are always going to manage to fire a bullet, so I've always got to worry about dodging them. And it's for so much of Contra. Good offense is good defense, because if you can just manage to take the enemies out before they can fire at you or get close to you, then you're golden. But these guys here, they always get their shot. I don't know about the guys up in the treetops. It might be possible to take them out before they fire. I'm talking about the lower guys. Oh, he tricked me. I thought he was going that way. That boss can really fool you when he wants to. Oh no, I want that. I'm gonna go all the way over there for it. No! Ah, rip. There it goes. We didn't even make it as far as last time. That's a shame. Ah! Dean Troll, welcome to the stream. Sorry you had to come in at such an inopportune time. I wish I could be greeting you with victory instead of failure. You're good, you'll get it. Thank you. I appreciate your faith in me. Someday we'll get it. I mean, if I can do Contra, I can do Super C, right? It's not that much harder. I do think this game is a little harder than the first Contra, but I don't think it's impossible. I think I've played them both enough now to where I can say fairly confidently this game is a little harder. I had a tremendous advantage coming into this game, though, having played the first Contra first. I think definitely helped. There go my lights shifting again. So I didn't finish my I wanted to finish my game inventory by today. That was my goal, and I did not reach it. I still have my NES games and my Intellivision games that I need to inventory. But I think I've inventoried everything else, at least everything else that's streamable. And I've got it put into the online collection. If you want to browse my game collection, you can just type the command !collection in the chat. It'll give you a link to my VG Collect page. For anyone who's curious, I think I'm up to 848 games. And I only have physical games listed in the, I only have physical games listed in the inventory. I do own some things, like, only digitally. Like the Metroid Prime trilogy, Punch-Out for the Wii, Earthbound, and Earthbound Zero. I only have those digitally. And then, of course, there's a bunch of, like, indie games, like Jump King and stuff like that, that I only have, digitally. So my entire collection, technically won't be in there, because I don't plan on adding the digital games. I think you can, but I don't know. Digital games, I also feel like, I never really feel like I own digital games, so. This is going very badly. Oh, but I think I'm up to 848 games, and without the NES games, that means we're gonna pass 1,000 in the inventory. I'm fairly confident my NES plus my Intellivision is going to be just enough to push us barely past 1,000. Always get physical media whenever possible. Ooh. Sorry. Oh, I can pause now. Let me catch up with you. Failure breeds growth. Victory breeds complacency. I guess that's kind of true. I mean, I haven't played Castlevania, Contra, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I haven't played any of those 3 since I got the Deathless run. I'm running Double Dragon Deathless. I know the feeling. I made it all the way to the end today and then choked. Oh man. Double Dragon, that game was so hard. I beat that for the I played and beat that for the first time on stream. And I worked on it like I played it like once like every other week for like 3 months before I finally had a run that made it all the way. I think it took me 14 hours of total stream time to beat it for the first time. It's a really short game, but I don't know, like it just gave me so much difficulty. I lost so many attempts to the like platforming with the elevators at the end, or you know, at the like next to last part. Sometimes I just think maybe I'm not very good at games. I was talking to another streamer about Castlevania Chronicles, that PlayStation 1 game, PlayStation 1 Castlevania that I made recently, and that I played recently, and he played it too, and I peeked in on his stream, but I had been telling him how hard the game was, and then I peeked in on his stream, and in 3 hours he'd gotten further than I made it in 7 hours. And I was like, oh man, this guy's gonna know my secret. I'm really bad at games because I was talking about how hard this game was, and he's just breezing through it. Speaking of being bad at games, this run through Super C here is really ugly. Grape Sody, glad to have you here. Good to see you again. Hey Frownie, those last parts of Double Dragon are really tough. Yeah, they really had me bent into pretzels, that's for sure. You think I've proven otherwise? Oh, thank you, Jelly. As I often point out, I think I'm just a slow learner. You know, if I play a game long enough, I can get good at it. I keep trying to jump over obstacles in this top, and particularly in this top-down level, and that is not something that's possible. Oh no, I missed the spread gun. Getting through here with the spread gun is hard enough. Getting through here without it. Oh no. We're on our last life, my friends. No. Oh. Sounds like me. It takes me a while to get good at certain games. It definitely takes me a long while to get good at certain games. Wow, this is the first time I've not done the 1 credit clear in a while. I've had a really good fortune with a lot of my most recent runs. I think that's the I think that's right. I think I'm not lying. Oh no. I might not even be able to finish. I might not even be able to finish this time. Mile Hyrule. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. It's funny because there's so many hobbies like guitar. If I played for 35 years, I'd be a good musician. Instead, I played games for 35 years, and I'm still terrible. I got to tell you, it hasn't been quite 20. It hasn't been quite 25 years, but I've spent a lot of time playing both guitar and games, and I'm pretty mediocre at both. Hey, Itarama, welcome in. Thank you for the thank you for the pistachios. Always happy to have a delicious treat. It's less than 10 minutes to midnight. Place your bets as to what happens then. Who knows? Midnight's a mysterious time, right? Whoa. No. Oh. How did I miss that machine gun? Don't do this to me. Oh, no. No, don't. Okay, well, not very happy to lose the spread gun, but... Alright, well, there we go. There we go.